Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to have the two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Pisces energy. The bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy Pisces energy. We all have our dualistic nature. Some people are struggling within themselves. We can all want to take action to live our life a little differently, have some more hope and faith and belief in our dreams, to love ourselves, to heal. But, in our more worldly nature, that does require that we make choices. We have to, in a world of duality, if we choose this, we don't choose that. And, we have to sacrifice some things. And we might be having a hard time sacrificing something that we need to sacrifice to move forward in life differently. Even just, oh my goodness, stepping outside of our comfort zone, being more bold and brave and confident. Our shadowy nature can represent our more fearful, egoic nature. And, we have to quit listening to our fears and our insecurities, and we have to offer ourselves love and compassion and forgiveness, and all that can be different. But so we'll read it from that perspective that some people are struggling within themselves, but there's always going to be some people in the world who have worked through the inner conflict and they are ready to move forward in life differently. And when they move forward in life differently, there's going to be some other people in the world who aren't moving forward in that way. Because we all kind of learn lessons and grow and change and all that stuff at different times in our life. So there might be some people that we won't be hanging out with as much, or we might quit a job, or we might just live our life differently. And what we align with within ourselves could dictate who we're going to be hanging out with in our world. So we're going to look at it from those perspectives. The bottom row could just be your own shadow energy. If you're aligning with your more hopeful, believing nature, then your shadowy energy, kind of like your ego, is going to have to be in the back seat of your life. And your own shadow nature doesn't like that, because we have this dualistic nature, like the knowledge of the tree of good and evil within us, and they both want to be in the driver's seat of our life. And some people right now are letting their more, letting their more worldly, shadowy nature run their life, and some people aren't. So let's get a few more cards here for the bottom row. All right. Cut. Okay, the reason for the bottom row's reading is blossoming abundance. So just healing, growing, and loving yourself. Excuse me. Helps people move forward differently. Previously, in the more shadowy nature of the carrying connections, we can all love living life the way we've lived it. Shadowy energy can just represent repeating an old pattern, staying in our comfort zone. We all are tempted to want to stay in our comfort zone, to not have to change, to not have to be bold and brave and confident, to just keep doing life the way we've done it. And then we get to stay in the jobs, the friendships, and the relationships and keep living our life the way we've done it. And, there's a lot of things we like about our worldly nature. What? Well, we don't have to take action in our life. We can keep living life the way we've done it. So we're tempted in our shadowy nature to just keep doing life the way we've been doing it. And then the magician in the mirror is kind of like, keep staying in the illusion that everything's fine. I can just keep living my life like this without taking any action. Not facing my fears, not facing my insecurities, not wrapping my brain around this game of life. I can just stay here and do life like this. And then we probably have people in our life that would be happy to be in a relationship with us living our life that way, because that might be how they live their life. Or maybe we know some people who aren't inspired to grow and mature and heal themselves, but they'd be willing to stay in a relationship with us, but maybe we feel manipulated in that relationship. And we could love them, but do they do love? Or are they more aligned with their self or their ego? Or is it more about ego and image and money and materialism? Make our life about conforming to the world. Get caught up in the illusion of the world. Look how wonderful our life is. I should stay at this job. I should stay in this friendship. I should stay in this relationship. We can be tempted to keep staying in certain situations because we could have love for those people. Maybe there's some people that aren't communicating with you to manifest something into reality. And kind of in our shadowy nature, we'd really like those people to communicate with us to manifest a relationship with us. But we have to deal with the truth. If people aren't taking action, because I kind of view the action card as like the Eight of Wands. If people aren't communicating with us that they want to manifest a loving relationship with us, are we going to keep staying in denial of the truth? The truth sets us free. But in shadowy energy, we can want to stay in denial of the truth. The truth is, if there's some people in our life who aren't working together with us cooperatively in a loving way, we can keep staying in it, we can keep staying stuck, or we love and believe in ourselves to come up here and give ourselves the things that we wish people would give us, to get out of our fear, get out of our insecurity, get out of our codependent nature, get out of being stuck. And we take this action to work with the people in our life that are working together with us in a loving way, and we keep moving forward, putting in work and effort to manifest our dream into reality. Our dream isn't codependent on certain people being in our life. We just need to work with people who are on the same page at the same time as us. And if some people in our life aren't on that page of willing to work together with us, then we need to see the truth of it. The truth will set us free. The divine has a plan for our life. And if people have shown us that I'm not on the same page as you, then our dream can't come into reality with them. And we need to get out of our ego about it. God has a plan for our life. God wants us to manifest our dreams into reality. When we have people in our life who aren't working together with us in that way to bring that dream into reality, we need to get out of our ego, which is like, but God, I wanted this person to be the person. And God's like, they have free will and they're not doing it. Yeah, but I wanted this person to do it, so make them do it. It's like, they have free will. And maybe this whole thing was to make you face your fears and insecurities about loving and believing in yourself, getting out of more codependent energy. We can all want to repeat an old pattern or stay in relationships with certain people, certain jobs, because we'd rather stay with the devil we know than face the devil we don't know. But if people aren't working together with us the way we would like them to, our dream can only come into reality if we do face our fears and step out of our comfort zone and trust that God didn't expect us to stay stuck waiting for other people to work with us cooperatively. We wish them peace, love, and joy, and we move on our path. Who wants to come with? High vibe energy needs people to be leaders in the world. So let's go see what these two cards are here that aren't showing themselves. The Victory card and Healer of the Ages. Life is about learning lessons. We can all have these things that manipulate us. Our fear, our insecurity. We might like to be boss, or some people might like to be bossy or immature or manipulative in a relationship. I'm not inspired by love. I like to manipulate people I get in a relationship with. That's the kind of relationship that some people want to be in. Some of those other people are waiting for other people to communicate with them that they think are more on the same page as them. People who are motivated and inspired by the same things we are and we know them, right, or we meet them, they would be motivated and inspired to work with us in this way from a place of love. High vibe Pisces energy, hope and faith and belief in love. But for some people, that's not their truth. I'm not inspired by love. I might like to be in a relationship, but I only want to be in a relationship if I can manipulate people. I want them to let me be bossy or controlling or more about myself or more about ego and image. Love isn't the driving factor in my life. They reject harnessing high vibe Leo energy of getting out of their ego, because shadowy Leo energy is aligning with your more worldly egoic nature. And they reject that victory. I'm not inspired to take action to get out of my worldly view of life or self-interested view of life or indulgent or materialistic view of life. That is what drives and motivates me. Maybe with the healer of the ages being rejected, maybe they don't see life from any higher perspective. There is no higher truth or justice to aspire to. We all have this dualistic nature. Some people have, their truth is, I have hope and faith and belief in love. Well, in a world of duality, there's going to be some people that are like, no, that's not. I had the free will to pick that and work with that to believe I could manifest my dreams into reality, but I didn't. I made the free will choice to make my life more about my worldly egoic nature. I'm either going to be defensive to love because I'm afraid of love. I get hurt doing love and I don't want to do that. I might like to be in relationships. I might like to enjoy relationships, but it's more about creating an illusion that it's love. I don't really want to have to be authentically myself. My ego runs my life. My false self runs my life. My authentic self, my creative, inspired, hopeful, believing, more healed nature is rejected. Maybe because it would require them to high vibe Sagittarius energy is about higher learning and education. I'd have to be inspired to even want to put in the work and effort to love and believe in myself, to see through the illusion, see through the things that manipulate me. And I'm not even interested in looking at it. You have to initially be inspired to even want to deal with your issues that stop you from growing and maturing and healing yourself or looking at life from a higher perspective. And some people have no interest. I'm good. I'll live my life like this. If I'm in a relationship and by worldly standards it looks good, I'm good. If I'm in a relationship where someone lets me manipulate them and that's how I like to live my life, perfect. If I found someone else who's not inspired by love but is willing to stay in a relationship with me and by worldly standards it looks good, I'm good. For some people, they're good. They're comfortable living their life the way they do. And they certainly would know people that are moving forward in a more creative, inspired nature, that look at life from a higher perspective, believe in a higher truth and justice, and they're not choosing to live their life like that. I could be in a relationship. I have free will. I have this dualistic nature. What people am I going to hang out with? I could hang out with those people. I could live my life like that, but I don't choose to. I want to live my life like this, whatever that means. You know, high vibe energy is letting love and intuition guide your decisions. Shadowy energy can be, I like to live more from my mind than my heart. It makes me feel safe. I take action to protect myself emotionally. I don't let my more authentic, creative, inspired nature, which can be represented by the feminine figures, because the masculine figures can represent how we present ourselves to the world and how we take action in the world, but how do we really think and feel? That's represented by the feminine figures. And some people are in love with themselves. It's all about them. So therefore, the scales should be tipped in my favor in a relationship. I might try to manipulate people to get them to do what I want, because it's more about me. My wants, my needs, my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego, indulgence, money, materialism. And that's how I want to live my life. And I want to find someone else to be in a relationship with who will indulge me being in whatever shadowy energy I am in. I reject the people who are more motivated and inspired by truth and love and justice and fairness. So, some people have been in relationships with people who they saw the truth of that. What they found as being victorious, because when the cards aren't showing themselves, it can be that we get in relationships with people. We have these things that we want to manifest, but we didn't realize that we could have harnessed these energies differently. One person does have hope and faith and belief in love and is inspired by love. The other people could have been hoping to manipulate those people. I like that you are inspired by love. I'm glad you're a loving person and a nurturing person. I'm glad you're not defensive like me. Let's get in a relationship. I'll create an illusion I'm like you. This is great. And as long as you buy into the illusion that I am like you, that I'm motivated and inspired by love too, then this relationship works for me. But over time, when the dream isn't coming into reality, the loving people start to realize that the other people harness this energy in a shadowy way. That they are more motivated and inspired by maybe wanting to be a savior in people's life. Like, you should make me God in your life. Don't love and believe in yourself. Don't listen to your intuition. You should get in a relationship with me. Be codependent on me. Look to me for your dreams to come into reality. And you quit believing in a higher truth or justice. If I say something's just and fair, it's just and fair. Or if I'm more motivated by the ego and the image or me, and eventually you start to see that truth, I'm hoping, because of what we've been created together, that, and because you love me, that hopefully I can use the love that you have for me to manipulate you. And you'll stay in it, even though what you dreamed of manifesting isn't going to come into reality. Because I just created an illusion. I was motivated and inspired by truth and love and justice and fairness and character and integrity, but that's really not the truth of who I am. But I'm hoping once I get you in a relationship that you'll stay in it anyway, and you'll give up your dreams and you'll settle for the worldly thing instead. And if you did listen, if you keep listening to your intuition and you keep loving and believing in yourself, eventually I might do some shadowy things in the relationship to continue to try to manipulate you to make you stop. I might quit communicating with you. I might quit, if it's a romantic relationship, I might quit having sex with you. I want you to stop trying to make me be someone different than I am. And I want you to do it the way I want you to do it. And if you don't love and believe in yourself enough to get out of your ego about this and let this go, well, then I guess we're going to do the relationship my way, aren't we? And then for some of you, people tried that tactic with you. People, you could have been in a relationship with them for a long time. For a long time, it could have seemed good. Until it kind of gets to be where people really have to pick a path. And we have to get clear about the foundation that people are operating from. And people have to make the free will choice to be more authentic and loving and just and fair and act with character and integrity. We can put up with people's shit for quite a while, hoping that they're going to grow and heal and mature themselves. But eventually it kind of comes down to, even is this relationship going to go to the next level? And are we going to have a more deep, meaningful relationship or not? But for some of you, you could have seen some people's shadowy nature come out when they were trying to, and that could have been what made you see the truth. And you realized you didn't want to move forward in an illusion anymore because you were illuminated to the truth. At which point, you probably would have communicated with these people, I love you, but if you're going to act in these shadowy ways, I'm going to distance myself from you. At which point, then some people, you know, maybe shadowy energy can be people being in their pride and ego. How dare you think that I have lessons to learn? How dare you think that I should heal or grow or mature myself? You know, anybody at life, regardless of what stage of life they're at and how they live their life, you know, they view themselves as a loving person. They just need to be in a relationship with someone who's kind of on the same page as them, or lets people manipulate them, or maybe they have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. And everybody can have their idea of what the dream relationship is, and for some it is, I view myself as this loving person, but I don't communicate with people. I'm manipulative. I don't ever get out of my ego, but I think that people should want to be in a relationship with me anyway, you know? And it's kind of like living in fantasy land for some of them. Just kind of immature. And because some of you could have distanced yourself from some of those people, you know, it becomes clear that they're not motivated to work together with you in this just and fair and loving way. And if they can find someone else to be in a relationship with who's more on the same page as them, or is caught up in the illusion with them, or hasn't seen the truth of them, you know, they want to stay in living their life like that. So we see the truth of it. Some people are just now really maybe starting to see the truth of it. And some people are going to stay in those relationships because they keep thinking that they can either get those people to change, or they're really on the same page as those people. So, in the Blossoming Abundance, we come up to the top row. Hostilities reverse, journey, indecision, and attachment. And we start out with these two cards not showing themselves. Let's go see. The way I interpret that is that you had to reject harnessing these energies in a shadowy way. You had to detach from people in your life that wanted you to be in this shadowy energy, maybe because they're in that shadowy energy. And what people don't know about you is that you're harnessing these in a high vibe way now. Contract reverse and man holding a coin, which is like King of Pentacles. A contract in reverse has the scales of justice on there. You realize you were out of balance and that you had some lessons to learn in life, and that you could have been more caught up, especially with the word attachment here. You know, sometimes we let our more loving nature run our life, and it has so much precedent in our life that the other aspects in our life kind of go in the ditch. Because high vibe energy is about being balanced within yourself, and we have lessons to learn in life. Oh my gosh, I love them. Oh my gosh, I really like indulging in that, whatever it is. You know, we can get caught up in all these things of the world that we think will make us happy. We have this illusion. I don't have to take action to love and believe in myself and heal myself. I know I can just go indulge in these things in the world. That'll make me happy. And we weren't like seeing the truth. And it was kind of throwing our life out of balance. And it was stopping us from growing and maturing ourselves. But high vibe people ended up seeing the truth that there's some things in the world I need to quit investing in. And it could have been either they were letting their love for these things in the world that they wanted to invest in, or their loving nature kind of being in an imbalanced way was kind of running their life, and it was keeping them from being more practical and grounded. Or they were too much about being in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, being in codependent energy. And it's just seeing the truth that this is throwing my life out of balance. Or I might be offering love to someone who's out of balance and they have some growing up and maturing to do. And I can't keep staying in a relationship with people where they don't act with character and integrity, where they're not healing or growing or maturing themselves, where they want me to stay out of balance, because every relationship has to be balanced, but a relationship can be equally out of balance. I give, and you take. I indulge people in poor behavior, and so they keep being in poor behavior, and we never have like an equally give and take relationship. And we can realize that we can have love for people, but if they're kind of acting in shadowy ways, I don't want to be in imbalanced relationships anymore. And I realized it starts within me. Why do I indulge people in poor behavior? We might do it because it's our comfort zone. We're used to dealing with people like that. Even, you could hear about people who say they grew up with an alcoholic in their family, and they could have said growing up, I will never get in a relationship with an alcoholic, but they do know how to deal with those people. And it can be their comfort zone to get in a relationship with someone who's more on the same page as them and treats them the way they treat them. It's kind of like, I'm not used to this. This is kind of out of my comfort zone. And we all kind of like to be in our comfort zone. So sometimes people who swore, like, I would never be with another person who's like an alcoholic or abuses alcohol, or somebody who's immature and impulsive, or someone who's prideful and egotistical, or someone who's stubborn or bossy or whatever, it is their comfort zone. And some people aren't ready to get out of their comfort zone, even though they could feel they would like the relationship to change. On one hand, it's in their comfort zone. In another thing, until we're willing to deal with, why would I stay in a relationship with people who aren't treating me in a just and fair way? And is it because I'm used to dealing with people who treat me this way, and I'm not used to being in a relationship with people who treat me the way I treat them? At what point am I going to, I deserve love, and I need to accept that I deserve to be in just and fair and balanced relationships, and willing to put in work and effort to make that my new comfort zone in a way, So then when you did the work within yourself to get out of your more worldly, egoic, codependent, imbalanced type of relationships, you were willing to cut those people out of your life that are continuing to want to be in imbalanced relationships, equally out of balance relationships. And the hostilities card reminds me of the Five of Swords. You had a dream you wanted to have come into reality, but you realized your dream wasn't going to come into reality with those people. And even though it caused you mental conflict, you did this work to heal, to see the truth. And for some people, you're no longer a mental conflict about it. You know the people, they have shown you enough times over and over what type of person they are. And you just accept the truth of it. That's who they are. That's how they view life, how they view relationships, how they treat other people. And I'm not up in my head about it. And I see the truth of it. And they're not someone that, in a love connection, that I can have my dreams come into reality with. And I see the truth of it. And I'm going to go on this journey, and the indecision card is like the Two of Swords, which is about listening to your intuition and freeing yourself from the things that used to manipulate you and becoming more and more authentically yourself as you go, because you don't want to wear a false mask, and you don't want to be in relationships with people who are operating more from their ego. We want to be in relationships with people who aren't wearing a false mask, hiding behind their ego. I want to be in a relationship with you because you're loving and nurturing, you're supportive and encouraging, but I still want to wear my false mask. It's like, no, everybody has to take off their mask. Everyone has to be authentic. And first it starts within us, doing this work within ourselves emotionally, to get the Two of Swords is Libra energy, to get balanced within yourself, to love yourself, to believe in yourself, free yourself from some of the things that manipulated you. And that is aligning with your more abundant nature. You know, it's like fertile soil to grow your life in. When we're operating more from our worldly egoic nature, it's like we're trying to grow our life more out of fear and insecurity and pride and ego and codependency and not having hope and faith and belief in our dreams and being in our mental conflict and our inner conflict. And we offer love to the situation. We all had lessons to learn in life. There's all these things in life that we think are the answer. And that, I think, is the whole point of life, is to learn these lessons in life, to hopefully be willing to learn lessons in life so that we do grow and mature and heal ourselves. And for a long time, you know, we have a lot of lessons to learn, and we do look outside of ourselves for the answers. Want to be the drugs, want to be the booze, want to be the food, want to be being in a relationship. Isn't that the answer? But the truth is, the answer lies within us. When we align with get out of our egoic nature, quit being codependent on other things outside of us to be the answer. It starts within us being abundant within ourself, being inspired to heal ourself, being like our own best mother, father, coach voice in our own head. And when we're aligned with that energy within ourself, and we're not like being harsh and critical and condemning and belittling of ourselves, we have all these life lessons to learn. How about we treat ourselves in a loving, compassionate way that, you know, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to get caught up in illusion. We're going to think, you know, we just have all these lessons to learn. And the answer was that it was supposed to be about loving ourselves and healing ourselves so we don't indulge poor behavior in ourselves and in others in an equally imbalanced relationship. Because love is supposed to be treating other people the way you like to be treated and being authentic, not wearing a false mask, not trying to manipulate people, not being in a relationship more because of your fear, your insecurity, or your codependency. But I want to be in relationships with people who I can authentically be myself with, that also are being authentic, who have hope and faith and belief and love. And we go on this adventure to give birth to new things and go outside of our comfort zone and letting love and intuition be the driving force in our life. And generally, loving people are communicating with people in the world their truth. And they could be communicating to people in their life, this is how I'm moving forward. Do you want to come with me in this energy? And some people won't, because they would have to quit aligning in their Libra energy of what they think is just and fair. And I'm saying Libra because the contract card is like Libra, the indecision card is Libra, and we all have our idea of what we think is just and fair in our life. And Pisces energy is about our dreams. What is our dream? How do we view life? What kind of relationships do we want to be in? And some people, some people want to live their life, that isn't how they want to live their life. They might want to be in relationships where you're either being truthful and honest and just and fair and acting with character and integrity, or you're kind of still have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. And some people are still in those illusions. They still have some lessons to learn. And it could be all about, I don't want to have to learn lessons in life. I don't want to see through my illusions. I don't want to see through how I deceive and manipulate myself. I don't want to see how other people in my life deceive and manipulate me. I don't want to see how the world manipulates me. High vibe energy is about being more independent of your shadow nature and the world, to know your worth and value, to be independent, to be free, to live your authentic life. But some people are still really caught up in, I don't know, being codependent on other people and the world instead of being more independent. So what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Pisces energy that they might not see coming up? Okay, it's quite a bit. We have the Emperor, the Five of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Seven of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. And the reason that came out is because of the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords is Aquarius energy. We have a dream. The Seven of Cups can kind of be, you know, I want these deep, meaningful relationships. So the high vibe people decide, you know, based on these lessons I've learned in life and these, you know, because we get in contact with all these different people in the world to help us get clear about our truth. Some people saw how they were deceiving themselves and being deceived by other people. Because if we weren't standing up for ourselves and requiring that people treat us in a just and fair, balanced, authentic, loving way, our dream wasn't going to come into reality. And so they were inspired to take this action to work through that, because the truth sets us free. And initially we can get out of a friendship or a relationship, but then we have to do this work within ourselves emotionally to work through the emotional confusion of it. Why didn't these people want to live life the way I wanted to live it? And we just need to see the truth. Why was I living my life that way? We need to see the truth. And so the Emperor energy is fire energy, so that could be being inspired to look at life from a higher perspective. What are my dreams? I thought living my life like this would make me happy, but something about it seemed to be shadowy. You know, again, maybe I was in relationships with people who aren't taking action, aren't communicating with me. Okay, well, I need to quit staying stuck about people who aren't taking action to communicate with me and invest in me. Okay, I see the truth of it. Let's move on. I'm inspired to move on in the Five of Pentacles. If there's people in my life who aren't communicating with me, aren't investing in me, I have to see the truth of it, or I'm deceiving myself. The Five of Pentacles sees the truth about the Four of Pentacles. There was something I was holding on to. But in the Five of Pentacles, I've seen the truth. I have worked through my mental confusion. I had a dream I wanted to have come into reality, but my dream cannot come into reality if people are not communicating with me and investing time, energy, and effort into bringing that dream into reality with me. So I have to accept that they're either in their own wonderful relationships or they want to live their life differently, and maybe they're not who I thought they were. In either case, I'm not going to be up in my head about it. I'm not going to be in mental conflict. I'm going to go on this journey of listening to my intuition and loving and believing in myself, looking at life from a higher perspective, moving forward, loving and believing in myself to get in the driver's seat of my own life from a foundation of love, to stand up for myself and what I believe in, which is moving forward in truth and love. And if there's other people in the world that, you know, sometimes we can communicate with people that I would like to move forward with you in this way, and then they don't take action or communicate back with you because they're trying to manipulate you, to have you up in your head and emotionally confused, hoping you'll quit moving forward the way you are, and you'll come back and do the relationship the way they want. And it's like, if I already communicated my truth to you and you're not moving forward with me, I'm not going to be up in my head and emotionally confused about the truth of the situation. If you were motivated and inspired to move forward with me in this way, you would take action. Because the masculines talk about taking action. You know, you would either be taking action to work together with me in an emotionally balanced, loving relationship, or you're defensive to that. And I'm not going to be up in my head about it. If that's how you want to live your life, I see through the illusion of it. I see the truth. I don't live in fantasy land about it. And I'm going to keep moving forward, standing up for myself and what I believe in. And you're going to harness these energies in a high vibe way. People could have wanted you in shadowy energy. Well, I want to keep doing life like this, but in case that doesn't work out, I want you stuck here. And if I decide I want to come back or get in a relationship with you, then I will. It's like, I'm moving on and I'm focused on truth and love and believing in my dreams. And if you ever quit indulging in whatever you're indulging in, you know, I think probably by that time you see the truth of it, that they're not on the same page as you, and you're no longer caught up in the illusion of them, and that you've moved on and you're moving forward in your life. Maybe as what you might not see coming as you move forward. You know, we're going to meet other people in the world who are on the same page as us. And the fact that the high vibe people are being good managers of their life, they're making good decisions in their life, they're maintaining balance within themselves, they're acting with character and integrity, they're not acting out of pride and ego and fear and insecurity. There's going to be other people who see that, and might be people that have realized they've been putting work and effort into relationships with people who are trying to, I don't know, aren't on the same page as them. And they realize they want to move forward with you because they also want to be in relationships with people who are on the same page as them. And you will move forward in an emotionally balanced, victorious way that's worth defending because you're working with people who are motivated and inspired by the same things you are. And then the people who thought, oh, I can manipulate this person or I can control this person, then those people will probably be stressed and confused about how you did that because they could have been in their ego thinking for sure you really only thought they were the option for you to have your dreams come into reality. It's like, well, I was already in a relationship with you, or I tried to be in a relationship with you, and you weren't willing to move forward with me in this way. So I kept moving forward, maintaining balance within myself, investing in other people who I thought were emotionally balanced and loving, who were good leaders in the world, who are on the same page as me, and I found someone who's on the same page as me. I wasn't going to, you know, stay stuck waiting for someone who's not communicating with me and putting action to work together with me in a relationship. And I moved on. So what's coming on? What's coming up for the people who do harness a more worldly or shadowy Pisces energy? The truth. And it has to do with this card not showing itself. The Two of Pentacles, which can be about juggling. So some people who are in shadowy energy want to juggle, and other people saw the truth of it. You know, again, we have this dualistic nature. We can either choose hope, faith, and belief in love, or we choose more about the world. And then there's the people that are still juggling back and forth, and they haven't decided their path. Well, so therefore, you know, they might want to kind of check out their options and haven't really decided, or can't I go indulge in this and you'll kind of wait here, you're like an option. And if this doesn't work out, then maybe I'll come back or try to get in a relationship with you. And it's like, I'm not an option. I see the truth. If you were motivated and inspired to work with me in this way, you would. But apparently you're still juggling other options, and I see the truth of it. And apparently whoever it is, you know, it can be people that let other people manipulate them. If they still are aligned with their friend group or their family group, or their defensive nature, or their ego nature, or their immature nature, or whatever, that's what they're choosing. It's like, well, I see the truth of it. If you're motivated and inspired to move forward with me in this way, you would. And that's also what some of the people that are in those type of mismatched relationships, some of them could be seeing right now too. I've been trying to put this work and effort to manifest a dream into reality. And at what time are we going to see through the illusion and see the truth? And partly we don't want to see the truth, and we kind of juggle leaving the job, the friendship, or the relationship, because it does require that we have hope and faith and belief that we can manifest our dreams elsewhere, and that we're not willing to stay in relationships with people who make us feel left out in the cold. And that if we've been putting this work and energy into people trying to get them to have more hope and faith and belief in themselves and in love, it's like, you know what? I'm going to start investing it in myself. And I'm going to do this work within myself to love and believe in myself. I do deserve emotionally balanced, loving relationships. I am going to stand up for myself and what I believe in. And if you're not then willing to move forward with me in that way, because, you know, if we're indulging people in a relationship, there's no incentive for them to do any differently. Oh, I know you love me. I know you'll stay here anyway. I know I can manipulate you. I know I can use the love that you have for me to keep manipulating you. It's like, fuck that. I'm moving forward like this. I've tried to get you to come to my side. Now I'm just leaving. What are you going to choose? And some of those people, that's when you also see the truth. When push comes to shove, what are you doing? What action are you going to take? And some people, in their pride and ego, or defensive nature, or whatever, manipulative nature, they have an idea. I could do truth and love and justice and fairness. But in my pride and ego, I have a different idea. I'm not going to pick up my investment in the ways I've been viewing life or living life to get more balance within myself. No, that takes work and effort. I'm going to reject that. I have an idea. I'm going to go maybe find someone who doesn't maybe feel like things are moving forward for them, who might be on a journey, who might feel stuck, and I'm going to go see if I can manipulate that person. I'll just go find someone else to manipulate. And that's when the loving people in their life see the truth. You have no interest. I view the man holding coin as like King of Pentacles, and I view that as Capricorn energy, and the Two of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. Shadowy Capricorn energy is represented by the devil. We either put in this work and effort to maintain balance within ourselves, or we have no interest in being balanced within ourselves. I'm more about me or the world. I don't want to have to grow up and mature myself. And that's when we see the truth of it. And people are no longer willing to balance things out with them. Why? Because I've picked a path. I've picked the truth and love. And apparently, you still juggle. And you still haven't picked that path. So if you haven't picked that path, my dreams can't come into reality with you. So I'm going to go on this journey of listening to my intuition and loving and believing in myself and knowing my worth and value and maintaining balance within myself and be inspired to go pursue my dreams. And I'm going to communicate with other people in the world who I think harness those energies in a high vibe way like me. And there will be people. You're harnessing high vibe Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Leo, Gemini, Aquarius. You're looking for people who harness that energy in a high vibe way. And I think as you move forward, there's going to be other people that are going to want to move forward with you. You know, the Queen of Pentacles can represent in jobs, in friendships and organizations and relationships and marriage that are going to want to move forward with you because they see that you are this person they could have their dreams come into reality with. If they also do this work within themselves to listen to their intuition and keep having hope and faith and belief in their dreams. and to stand up for themselves and what they believe in, instead of being manipulated by their worldly nature, their immature nature, their prideful nature, and other things and people in the world that try to get them to keep living their life that way. And seeing that some of the people in their life don't have their best interest and don't want them to grow and heal and be balanced and grow to their full potential, because then they wouldn't stay aligned with them or prioritizing those people, even if they're just a family member or a friend. But it could be a love interest. The people in our life who don't kind of have hope and faith and belief and love, and they want us to stay in a relationship more for the ego or the image or the codependency, they don't want us to heal and grow and mature ourselves to our full potential, because they don't want to live their life like that. So then they do these shadowy things and whatever to try to get us to keep living our life like that. And we wish them peace and we move on. I'm going to go find the people who listen to their intuition, who want to be more authentically themselves in the world instead of hiding behind their egoic defensive nature. Those are the people I am going to invest my time, energy, and effort into. Not the people who aren't communicating with me, aren't creative, aren't inspired, are all about themselves or ego or image. Go find the people who are on the same page as you, because I'm not on that page. The only person we can change is ourself. So the Five of Swords is, I decide to see the truth of it, get out of my mental conflict about it, and go on this journey. If I want these certain things in my life, then I need to be bold and brave and confident, to detach from the people and ways of viewing life that I used to, and I need to invest in getting in the driver's seat of my own life from love and taking creative, inspired action to move forward and invest my time, energy, and effort into the people in my life who are working with me cooperatively from love, and finding more of the people in the world who are on the same page as me. And those other people will go live life based on what their truth is. And they may never do this because it's maybe not how they view life. I don't have to get in the driver's seat of my life. I don't have to get out of thinking it's more about me or the world or ego or materialism or defensiveness. And that's true, they don't. They can live their life like that. They might have someone else who wants to be in a relationship with them. Why? Because that person could be someone who had people who wanted them to be more balanced, who wanted them to grow up and mature, and they didn't want to, and they're juggling. Or they're on the same page as them at this time. We all like to be in relationships with people who are on the same page as us at the same time. And they might have someone who wants to be in a relationship with them because that's how they view life too. Well, that's a just and fair relationship. They should be in relationships with people who are just like them. And if that's, we don't take creative, inspired action, we don't take action to get out of our more worldly or egoic view of life, we reject there being a higher truth, we're all about the illusion of the world, okay, well, that's a just and fair relationship. That's the type of person they should be in a relationship with. But if these people try to get in relationships with other people who they aren't realizing are harnessing high vibe Capricorn energy, are balanced, and they could try to manipulate someone else, this whole thing's going to play out again. They need to go find someone who quit trying to manipulate a loving, giving, nurturing, just fair person, and go get in a relationship with someone who's creating an illusion of being that just like they are. And then we can have two people in a relationship operating from their defensive egoic nature that are more about creating an illusion in a relationship because they haven't freed themselves from these things that manipulate them, that stop them from being authentically loving. If that's who they are, that's the type of person they should be in a relationship with. And for some of them, that's what they're working on right now. And they should stay in that relationship because they're on the same page. They view life the same way. It's an injustice to try to get someone who does have hope and faith and belief in love and being in more deep, meaningful, loving relationships, and they're defensive to being that type of person themselves. That's an injustice. They might not like it because both of them could kind of feel like they're being juggled because people aren't in the relationship for love, but maybe more out of the ego or the image or the codependency. And they could hide that they're both juggling, haven't really picked a path. Well, if neither one of you have picked a path, then maybe they'll pick a path together, or pick opposite paths, or they'll keep juggling. So there you go, Pisces energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.